That was Formula One world champion Sebastian Vettel doing his inspired driving thing with an Infiniti IPLG coupe. This is not the start of some all-glam, no-content car prawn. This is our visit with Sebastian Vettel, the guy everyone wants to meet, and we got him. Up close, in person, in car. As a preview to the 2011 Montreal F1, JF Musial and I were two of only 3 Americans invited by Infiniti to meet Red Bull racer Vettel. By the way, it's pronounced in German as an F, not as a V. And boy, did we learn a lot. Sebastian answered my questions about what feel from a race car inspires his confidence to push hard, where Seb finds that last bit of speed. He gave us driving tips, and how Vettel feels about the 2011 Pirelli tires. And I think we got an Infiniti car scoop. Not sure anyone was supposed to tell us, but we were told, coming soon, Infiniti will release a Sebastian Vettel edition Infiniti. This is the first, but not the only car, and not the rumored unique new car, to be coming from this Infiniti Red Bull Racing collaboration. The car mentioned in passing to us is what Vettel would like to see in his Infiniti. See, this sponsorship is going way deeper than decals on carbon fiber and marketing glad-handing. As Infiniti said in their first press release, it will have a technical component. This is Shakedown, and trust me, this is worth you hanging around to watch the entire show. Infiniti, inviting us to meet Sebastian Vettel, gave us a chance to create another step forward for Fastlane Daily and Shakedown, and we tried to make the most of the opportunity. Just like tomorrow, June 11th, we're going to make the most of the live stream format as we invite you to join us at Watch and Chat during the entire Le Mans 24 and Montreal F1 qualifying. Just get yourself to FastlaneDaily.com starting at 8 a.m. Eastern to access the live stream. Then, Twitter me with questions and comments till your fingers bleed via hashtag FLD and hashtag LM24. And that ridiculous title created for this live stream means I'm going to be on air for 25 hours. You may want to tune in just to see who DNFs first, me or Mikey Waltrip at his NASCAR Ferrari. He's car number 71 in the Le Mans Spotters Guide that I'm sharing with you via the link below this video to get you ready for tomorrow. But today I'm ready to share our experience with the man of the moment in F1. At Circuit Icar in Mirabel, Quebec, on the outskirts of Montreal, we were introduced to Vettel thanks to Infiniti US getting us into the Infiniti Canada event. Cool, and thanks. Didn't take long before we were in car with Sebastian in the IPLG coupe, 6-speed manual gearbox of course, heading out onto the circuit that's home to the Jacques Villeneuve Driving Academy. Now I wasn't going to sit there in this ride-along and scream like Riccardo Patrese wife. Nor was I planning to just gush all over Seb like the fans in China did on that visit. No, I'm Gumby, damn it. I mean, I'm Leo, and I went right to work with questions. But Seb knew the drill too, and so it began. What inspires confidence for you as a driver? What do you look for technically in an F1 race car?
Basically, you need to feel comfortable. And I think when you feel confident and comfortable, it gives you the trust that you need to go fast and the inspiration, if you want to say it that way, to, you know, try new things and push yourself to the limit more and more.
Into the corner, carrying mid, where do you find your speed?
It depends, you know, it depends what is followed by the corner you attack.
Yes.
So, for instance, here, if you take that corner, it's a very low speed corner, so it's very important to brake late first of all, but then turn the car around and make sure you have a nice clean exit, because there's a long straight line following. All the speed you can carry will help you all the way along the straight, whereas if the straight line is rather short, you can attack more in the entrance of the corner, trying to gain time there, because you could not lose, you know, the time later on so much.
Question about Pirelli tires. Can you feel the tires degrade over the course of a stint?
Yes, yeah, a lot. You lose grip everywhere.
Okay.
So you can't brake as late as you want, you can't stop the car as hard as you like, you can't turn in with the speed because, you know, you haven't got the stability, especially from the rear end. So the tire would not allow you that, and you would, you know, start to catch the car all the time, and then you lose, you know, the ability to, as I mentioned earlier, to carry the speed out of the corners to make sure you carry all the straight line.
You name your race cars. Did you name your Infinity road car?
No, I did not get to the point where I named the road cars.
Immediately out of the car, everyone was asking how Vettel drove. JF asked, was he fluid? Well, that's not the right word, because as he was taking the Infinity IPL to G-Max in braking and corners, I saw really quick, crisp inputs to wheel and pedals. This wasn't some smooth, fluid, flowing symphony. This was a jazz clarinetist, precisely working the keys and tone holes to deliver a nice, tight performance with real tempo and vibe. Still, looking out of the windshield, you'd never know the managed freneticism Vettel was executing behind the wheel. You'd just see the car moving at great speed, going exactly where it should. And no nosedive, no hard rolls onto the suspension limits, no unpurposed wheel spin simply for the sake of tire smoke. You didn't feel fluid, you felt energy. Oh, and Infinity is translating their inspired driving branding into cars that deliver some real performance. And more is coming. Hey, the parent company gives us the GTR. And if Seb and RBR are going to be providing engineering and driving input, well, Lexus what? Audi who? And Vettel's sideways stuff? He's just a freaking kid and was just having fun. He admitted it too. In car with Sebastian, we talked about driving the Pirelli F1 tires. And then I thought about our recent past shakedowns. And who cares about what I think of them as good or bad for F1? What does Seb think? Especially coming off Monaco, where the Pirellis were such a big factor in the race, and where we saw the perfect A-B comparison. The Pirelli tire strategy versus at the end of the race, everyone even up on fresh tires.
Well, I mean, it's a different challenge this year with the tires going off quite quickly. Some of the tracks, depending on the loads we face. Surely, you know, if you go 3 to 5 seconds slower lap, it's a different, as I say, it's a different challenge. Surely you would like to go fast all the time, so the tires would last more and longer than something we would enjoy. But as I said, you know, on the other hand, you have to adapt, and you know, maybe you can do something better than the other guys.
Did you work harder making those tires last at Monaco versus driving fast?
Different, yeah. Okay. But it's, as I said, it's a different challenge. You know, it's challenging to go fast, but it's also a challenge to make these tires survive.
A roundtable interview session was another part of the Vettel meeting. Good stuff here too. The guy's not afraid to share his honest thoughts.
You know, last year a lot of things didn't always go according to plan. Sometimes, you know, I did mistakes. Other times we had some problems with reliability. You know, the whole team has become much stronger. So this year, obviously, we had a very, very good start, but it's still a very long way to go. I think, you know, we have learned as a group a lot, and I have learned, we have grown. So you know, there's more routine going into things and more attention to detail, and it's hard to pick one thing. There's not, you know, one ingredient that makes everything just so much better. It's all the details, small things coming together and then making, you know, maybe a big difference. It's part of the sport, part of racing, and nobody's perfect. So we all try to, you know, push harder in order to go faster. And sometimes, as I said, mistakes happen, but the most important, I guess, is that they don't happen twice.
So there you go, a race car driver famous for speed and winning, not crashing and glamming up internet domains. And speaking of speed, anyone remember this Vettel factoid? When Seb joined Red Bull's Scuderia Toro Rosso, he replaced American Scott Speed, and the US motorsport media went nuts with his outcries. Anyone want to still challenge that Red Bull decision? And one last speed cross reference. Here's an obvious not a newsflash from Shakedown. Sebastian Vettel can drive really fast. Those of you that know me know how cynical I am with celebrities, racing celebs included. But goddamn, Sebastian Vettel looked into my eyes. I think we had a moment.
Ow, we're living in the fast lane, baby.